And we're live. We're live from a little staycation that I'm on. So, yes, currently at a hotel, currently on my staycation. As you're coming in, feel free to say hi. I'm using a different microphone, and I'm gonna upload the unboxing of that. excuse me, that microphone a little bit later. I gotta do the voiceover on it, but I'm using that new microphone right now. So let me know if you guys can hear me, if you can hear me well, if the audio levels is okay. The microphone is this. Shout out to my wife for the gift. Shout out to B Tech Reviews for talking about it on when he got one. I ended up picking up one myself. So it's pretty much open forum tonight. We're gonna talk tech. So that's thumbs up on that. And currently, the TV's on, but there's no audio. As I'm watching, what's that movie? The Equalizer, which to me is a pretty solid movie. I like the movie itself. So before I continue on, let me go ahead and shout out the channel members, those that are members of the channel. Appreciate you guys. Notifications are going off. So feel free to comment and say hi as you're coming in. Let me know how the audio is doing. I have the microphone set up. It's in cardioid mode, not omni. But I feel like that this microphone is a bit sensitive. So just let me know if it's picking up sound well, if I should go closer to the microphone, if I should go more further back. Same time. Let me share, I guess you can say. Hold on. You're going to hear feedback. I'm actually going to try to listen to the audio myself. I guess you can say. Hold on. There's a little bit of a delay. You're going to hear feedback. I'm actually going to try to listen to the audio myself. The microphone and video is good. You have a beautiful family, Tito. You have some little kids. Whoa. Metalhead 555. I really appreciate that. I really do. I love my kids. My kids are my world. So let me share this out to various different platforms. Because I hardly go live nowadays, so I feel like that a lot of people are just like, what happened? Okay, I tweeted that out. And yesterday it went pretty left or right field, wherever, however you want to say it. I don't want people taking that as a pun or anything, but it went pretty much out there yesterday when really I was trying to focus on the whole censorship thing, the whole thing with Parler. I am going to talk about that here on this podcast a little bit again, but kind of stick to topic and not try to dabble too far into politics. I mean, I know people want to talk politics. It's something that's really hard to do because you have different point of views, and sometimes those point of views clash, and people want to get their points across and everything like that. Totally understand that, but I'm gonna stick to point. Point being of social platforms and the reasons why I think that it's pretty ridiculous that the Google and the Play Store pulled Parler off for literally, having the same things that happens on Facebook and Twitter's platform, and yet those two platforms never get threatened of being shut down, taken down, or anything like that. As always, if you do want to help the podcast, you want to help the show, this is the best way to do it. I know other people use Cash App, and I should probably drop that in the link. But I mean, it's totally up to you, at your discretion, if you guys want to do that or not. Totally up to you guys. And of course, link to my socials. Yes, I'm pretty active on Instagram. My adventure is just taking some weird turns, but definitely, doing more on Instagram. But still wanting to do stuff here on YouTube as well. podcasts and talking and stuff like that. That would always actually be pretty cool. And yeah, so again, to a lot of people, let's kind of go into the first thing here. I want to create a banner for it. Let's see. And while you guys are coming in, just let me know how your day is doing so far. How you guys been? What's new with you guys this weekend? Let me know if the stream is handling very well. I'm using the hotspot with my AT&T line. I know the hotel has like free Wi-Fi, but I just don't trust it. I just don't trust that it'll maintain. So anyways, all right, let me go into the main topic again that I do want to kind of like touch base with. Really just kind of talk about tech for your needs, what's going on. Okay, so without dabbling too much into politics or getting it being pulled that way, I want to emphasize why I think it's really wrong for Google and Apple to threaten to ban a social platform such as Parler for the reasons that they have been accused of regarding Wednesday's event at Capitol Hill. Now, I'm not saying that what happened at Capitol Hill was right. It was wrong. It's wrong on either side. Whichever side is doing it, it's always wrong to vandalize, destroy, break, and go into things. It's always wrong. It never makes it right. But the idea, after seeing one of the top figures for Parler actually on they were invited on Fox News to talk. I believe it was Tucker Carlson that did the interview, and he read a snippet of what Google had reached out to him to tell him the reasons why that they, without warning, pulled the app Parler off the Google Play Store, where it no longer can be downloaded. And they blame that the riots in Capitol Hill was planned and orchestrated through Parler. And I'm left with my head scratching, because the same things can be said with different organizations that protest, and they do it on Twitter, they do it on Facebook. Why isn't Facebook and Twitter held to the same standards? See, my worry in all this, regardless of what side you identify with or agree with or whatever, is the fact of silencing speech, silencing, where you go to get your information, forcing you to get your information from one particular source, rather than having multiple sources to tend to. I'm just trying to make sure that it's still going good. And man, I still got bed hair. But for it's like a double standard, right? And it's like, what several people have said, there are so much negative things that get trafficked through Google's Gmail. They don't hold themselves accountable for those types of things. And I'm not going to mention what those types of things are here on YouTube, but people can pretty much figure out what's being trafficked through Gmail, and Google's not held responsible to that. So how do they hold Parler accountable? Now, yes, a lot of news publications has painted Parler to be this conservative, right thinking social platform, and I can say I'm on Parler, and it's furthest from that. There are a lot of people that are conservatives that share their conservative opinions on that app and share, yo, what's up, Lawrence? And share their thoughts and opinions on that app. But it's nonpartisan. It's not specifically for conservative thinking people. It's not. It's just a lot of them happen to be there. And even those that are liberal thinking can create an account on Parler and share whatever they want. The whole purpose behind it on the regulating of it and everything like that, Google's calling that they want 24-hour regulations on Parler. And the folks at Parler are like, we're not here to thoroughly watch everybody's account 24/7. This is supposed to be a platform where people can freely express their opinions and their thoughts, without it being suppressed, hidden, or deleted. They don't data mine anybody's profile because they're not monetizing anything on there. That's why there's no ads ran through it. They literally just want to be a platform for people to vocally, or use video or use photos or text it out what they're thinking. Nothing wrong with that. Yet it's being attacked by Google and by Apple. Apple giving them a 24-hour ultimatum to do these changes that Apple wants them to do, or they're kicked off the App Store. Google pulling the app off the Play Store without even really telling Parler they were going to do it, and Amazon threatening to shut down their use of their servers. And if Amazon does not allow Parler to use their servers, consider the platform done and gone. Is that really fair? To me personally, I don't think it is. And a lot of people who don't like conservatives would disagree with me on it and say it's fair that they shut them down. But what if the roles were reversed, and a platform that just happens to be where a lot of liberals go to share their thoughts and opinions gets threatened by big tech to get shut down? What happens then? Is that fair? Of course, they're going to say, no, it's not fair. It always comes down to this. It's not fair if it happens to me, but it's fair if it happens to those who disagree with me. And that's a very, very dangerous way of thinking. What up, Caleb? What's going on, man? Yeah, we had Lawrence in here. I'd make sure I said hello to Lawrence. We got Caleb in here. Yo, so much censorship. It's coming to that. Big tech literally is being handed the keys to control a lot of things. And while I like technology, and while I advocate and am excited for the growth of technology, this is not the type of growth that I want to see. I don't want to see big tech have the reins and control. That is something that should not happen. And we are blindly handing them the reins to control. I mean, look what they have done already. Whether you like Trump or not, no one deserves to be banned and silenced that way. Now, again, I'm not here to tell people who or how they should think. On my YouTube channel, on my little space here on YouTube, people can freely say what they want to say, as long as it's not, trolling or anything to that extent. I'll allow it. You can share your point of views. Where it said business, put zero cool LLC. Oh, okay, cool. But at the end of the day, this is something that really scares the hell out of me. Scares the hell out of me on just how much power that we're giving, how much big tech is going to have the control. Just for the simple fact, I mean, when you go to Facebook, it's really controlled there. We know this. We know that certain things they're not going to allow to circulate on their platform if it goes against the grain, which is the top figureheads of Facebook. We know this, right? I live stream this, which is actually live streaming to Facebook. It's live streaming to my Facebook page. And I guarantee you that even if I was to pay Facebook to boost this live stream to be circulated, it's not going to. Not for the things that I'm saying, because I am actually saying that big tech companies are wrong for doing this to Parler. They are wrong. Because if you're going to do this to Parler, then you have to hold Twitter and Facebook accountable in the same way, which a lot of this stuff happens on Facebook and a lot of this stuff happens on Twitter. It does. There are people from different groups that coordinate things. I mean, over the last 4 years with the riots and stuff that happened during the summer, they've used social media to coordinate. And while you had politicians who supported those that went out there and did these things, you had big tech companies also support it. But then they're going to go and be hypocritical and say, well, we're going to threaten to shut down Parler because they don't like the fact that Parler doesn't want to exactly monitor you all the time. And it doesn't mean that like Parler lets you do whatever you want on their platform. You can't go and share illegal explicit content on there. You can't go and threaten to do bodily harm or to take somebody's life on there. There are moderators that's on there that will see that will actually ban your account. And one of the things that like I shared with Gene when I talked about this on an Instagram live, and I said, one of the things about Parler is like for me to private chat with somebody on Parler, I have to verify who I am. One of the ways that you verify yourself is submitting a copy of your driver's license ID. You submit that to prove that you're a real person, that your profile represents a real person. You're given the ability to direct message people. But if you sign up for a free account, you don't verify yourself, you can't directly message anybody. So if you wanted to troll on Parler, you'd have to do it in the public, which some people don't mind doing that. But it makes it easier to find these accounts and just get rid of them. You know what I mean? If someone makes a claim that somebody is harassing them on there, makes it easier for the moderators to find it if it's in the main timeline feed and not in somebody's private DM that, So, see over what's up. What's going on? Let's catch up with these. I only use Facebook for the marketplace. Caleb says, I don't use Facebook at all. Too insecure. Yeah. Siova, thanks for coming in, man. I really appreciate you being here. That's a message to Siova. I don't have Pokemon cards. Lawrence got cards. Lawrence got cards for days. Lawrence had a collection. But anyways, I mean, I'm not here to pick a side when it comes to this whole political fiasco. But what I am here to say is that regardless of what platform, what political side you identify yourself with, if you choose to, no platform that's giving people the ability to speak, share their thoughts should be silenced by big tech. But I mean, that's going to happen. It's going to happen because we just handed the power to big tech. This is one of those times where I can't back Google. And all the stuff that I back Google about, right? Like the Pixel phones and Google Fi and Google Duo and, Hangouts chat. Of all those things that I've been a big advocate for Google services, Google products. This is one thing that I can tell everybody. I don't stand with Google on this. I don't. I think it's disgusting. I think it's irresponsible. It's hypocritical for them to do this. Yu-Gi-Oh. Oh, I bet. I got mad Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Nice. Yeah. So for those people who are coming in, just let me know how the audio is. I will post an unboxing video here on YouTube of this microphone that I'm using now that I got at Best Buy for like $50. I know B-Tech Reviews has this particular mic. It sounded pretty good. I know he uses Windows and everything like that. I'm actually using a Chromebook, so it's plug and play. But I just want to know if the sound is decent. It's got two different modes. I have it in cardioid mode. It's not in Omni, so it's not using the full circumference of the mic for audio. It's just in a specific spot. It's good. All right, it's good. Nice. Yeah, so I keep glancing to the right because I have the volume down, but I'm watching the equalizer. I'm on a staycation. Me and the lady just decided to rent a hotel room for the night, just get away from everybody, and just kind of like chill, just a vacation within our city. I mean, we did a vacation going to Oklahoma, which was actually pretty cool. It was a lot of fun going out that way. And we're actually going back out to Oklahoma for spring break. The kids really thoroughly enjoyed it. And yeah, today, just hanging out. She went to go have lunch with a friend, not lunch, but like a slight dinner, I guess you can say, with a friend. Only for the simple fact is that she hasn't seen her friend in a long time. Later on, she's gonna come back and yeah, just gonna watch some TV, like some snacks, chill, silence. It's kind of funny because today she bought a Switch Lite. She got the coral colored one. And like I'm a huge fan of Street Fighter, so she saw that they had the Street Fighter 30th anniversary edition, which has like every Street Fighter game up to every variant of Street Fighter 1, 2, and 3, and the Alpha series. And so she got that for me, and I'm just like, wow. You know, because I remember playing Street Fighter, like the very first one where you can only pick Ryu or Ken. And then, of course, Street Fighter 2 World Warriors. Then you have Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition, Street Fighter 2 Hyper Edition, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Super Street Fighter 2, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Street Fighter Alpha 1, 2, and 3. Then Street Fighter 3 and the variations of it, including Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. So, let's see. Sound is good. I appreciate it. All right, cool. Yeah. I don't know. Does this mic sound better than my other microphone that I've been using for a while? Even Cell on there? Okay. Yeah, break time. Rock the bed. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, we got Maverick in here. See, any Street Fighter characters from the film? What do you mean? Any Street Fighter characters from the film? You talking about the movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme? Because I don't like that movie. I like the one that was done with Machinima. Machinima backed that movie, which is Street Fighter, Assassin's Fist. It's the only Street Fighter movie I actually like, besides the animated ones. But like for a live action Street Fighter, Assassin's Fist is the only movie that I actually really like. Any other, I don't. The one with Jean-Claude Van Damme back in the 90s sucked. Street Fighter, the one with Chun-Li, that was weird. That sucked. Yeah. Have you seen the movie Street Fighter? Yeah. I've seen Street Fighter Assassin's Fist. That's the only live Street Fighter movie that I like. I remember they released segments of the movie on Machinima's YouTube channel, and so I actually downloaded each one of them, and I put it together as a movie. And then when I got done doing the editing to cut out a lot of the cuts to just smoothly blend it as a movie, a week later, they just released the entire like movie without the cuts. And I was like, I did all that work for nothing. But yeah, that's the only one. Do you guys hear? And I didn't even know this, and I feel really dumb about this. But you all know that there's a reboot of Mortal Kombat? You have to see Assassin's Fist, Maverick. It follows Street Fighter as far as Ryu and Ken's backstory, and also Goki's backstory, aka Akuma, and Goken, which is Ryu and Ken's master, and even briefly gives a stint about their master Gotetsu. So you get a lot of backstories there, but it sticks to it. And the CGI, while it's not the greatest, it's a hell of a lot better than the 1995 or 96 Street Fighter where Ryu's fireball was like his hands going like this into the camera, and then they like flashed the screen, where you never saw like the projectile shot from his hands. Way better than that. Let's see. First Street Fighter was tough. The game or the movie? Because the game, the game was hella tough as hell. I mean, trying to throw a fireball was crazy. It wasn't like how the game mechanics was in Street Fighter 2. In Street Fighter 2, whether you're playing at the arcade with the joystick and a 6-button configuration, or if you're playing on Super Nintendo with a control pad or Sega Genesis, it's always a quarter circle. So you start from down and move swiftly to the forward position and punch, and that's fireball. In Street Fighter 1, I think it's like a full rotation of the joystick and you're hitting punch. And even then, sometimes it doesn't recognize the command. So really, you're like standing there throwing these straight punches, and then when you least expect it, then he throws the fireball. It's just a crazy. Street Fighter 1 was a very crazy game. The mechanics of it was really hard to play. You can't wait for that movie, Mortal Kombat? Yeah. I can't wait for Mortal Kombat and see what they did. The Mortal Kombat live movie that came out, it wasn't bad, but they still kind of screwed the pooch on that. With the second movie, Mortal Kombat Annihilation, they really screwed the pooch on that movie. Just for the simple fact is that they blended characters, right? They blended characters. So, for instance, they turned Raiden into Kung Lao. Yeah, I seen that. They Annihilation. They turned Raiden into Kung Lao, which was ridiculous. When Cyber Smoke showed up, when Liu Kang and Kitana was trying to make their way to find other survived fighters, they screwed it. I think I don't know. They blended Cyber Smoke and Sector together. So he was Smoke's color for the body armor of the Cyber Lin Kuei, but he shot a missile out of him instead of his three-pronged hook or the bomb, which was like weird. At least Cyrax had, his net, but that was just like a weird looking net that he had. It was just completely weird. And Rain was like Shao Kahn's general for a moment until Shao Kahn was mad because they couldn't catch and kill Liu Kang. So, the movie was tough with Jean-Claude Van Damme. I don't know, dude. They screwed it. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's not fun to watch. Okay, watching the Street Fighter movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme, it's fun to watch. It's just if you know the backstory, like if you got Street Fighter Champion Edition on Super Nintendo and you had the user manual for it that gave the backstory for every character, you know that they screwed the characters in the movie. Ryu and Ken were not CIA agents. Oh god, that was just so bad. They were CIA agents, so weird. But I don't know if people remember this from the user manual for Street Fighter 2 on Super Nintendo and even on Sega Genesis. But like when you watch Assassin's Fist, their fighting style that Gotetsu teaches them is called Ansatsuken. But from the video game manual book, their backstory says that their fighting style is Shotokan. So I don't know if people remember that, but I do, because I was always like wondering like what fighting style is this? When I was young, I thought it was a real fighting style. My dad would always tell me like, it's not real. It's not real, son. Nobody throws fireballs out of their hands. Generates that type of energy just straight from their hands. I'll be honest with you guys. When I was a kid and Street Fighter 2 hit the arcades and it was like the most popular game there was, I had a Halloween costume as a karate kid. I found one of my red t-shirts. I cut it up. I made a red bandana. I wrapped it around my head and tied it. And I just mimicked Ryu for like a whole month. I irritated my older sister. I irritated my dad. I was like screaming out the sounds of like what I thought they were saying when they were doing like the hurricane kick or the dragon punch. The fireball was pretty easy to hear that, the Hadouken. Everyone can hear that from the speaker, but you didn't really hear them say Shoryuken for the dragon punch. And I am not going to try to say the hurricane kick. I know the very beginning of the phrase, but it's just, yeah, it's insane. But I used to run around and imitating Ryu, and it's irritated them. And then when Mortal Kombat hit, I got grounded because it was parents were concerned because it was too bloody and gory with fatalities and stuff like that. Let's see. Wait, we trying to see this. I don't like those movies. You don't like none of those movies? Only fighting movies I like was Rocky. Rocky was pretty good. I like where they went with the Creed movies, kind of taking Rocky out of the spotlight, but not, keeping it on the Balboa family, but bringing Creed's name back in and a legacy to be built was actually really good. Yes, I've seen Mortal Kombat Scorpion's Revenge. I actually liked it. Even though it was animated, I actually liked it. Have you ever been to a carnival? They have people throwing fire out their hands. Yeah, but no one really makes fire out of their hands. You know what I mean? Like, hey, Rochelle, what's going on? And welcome. I'm glad to have you here. I haven't seen you in a while here on YouTube. See you on Instagram, and I do appreciate you coming on there. But I'm glad to have you here. So welcome, welcome to the podcast. Well, AMA. Um, but yeah, when Mortal Kombat hit, I was I was totally into that game. I literally where I lived at, because around the time when it came out, I was living in Guam, and from the apartments that we lived at down the road there was a Subway, and right next to it there was an arcade. And my dad literally thought like I had an addiction to Subway sandwiches, which I mean I kind of did. You know, I like their meatball sub, and back then they didn't toast their sandwiches, but the meatball sub was good, and I always went for the cold cut trio. So I would go to Subway. I would buy me a sandwich. With the remaining change, I knew exactly I was gonna have enough to get at least $3 in quarters. Then I'd go and I'd play Mortal Kombat. When my dad found out I was playing Mortal Kombat, like he grounded me. But um, yeah. Then my dad got mad because I cut up one of my shirts and I put a fishing hook at the end of it, and I was emulating Scorpion. And all you would hear me do is just bellow out, "Get over here!" And I think I got tore from my dad. My dad used the belt because I had actually threw that that little makeshift kunai. I had thrown it with the fishing hook, and it hooked my sister. So yeah, let's see. Definitely going to IMAX for a week straight once MK movie hits out. Yeah, on April 16th. Yeah, definitely. I've never seen Creed movies, but funnily one of my fave Rocky was part 5. Even though you heard Sly hates it. Oh, Sylvester? Yeah. I don't know if he like. I mean, well, I don't think he liked it too much, just because the way that the movie like went, the idea behind it. But it was to me. I thought it was okay. I thought it was a good way to kind of show a different side of Rocky, right? Um, hang on, let me bring that back. I love it. It has total '90s vibe. It has a real boxer in it, Tommy Morrison, and the movie totally has a Rocky One vibe to it. Yeah, the Rocky movies I'm a fan of. I'm a big fan of the Rocky movies. I think and Rocky Five. I never had a real problem with Rocky Five because you know it it had to go that way. Rocky One, he was just a fighter being discovered, got a fight with the world champ, beat him. Rocky 2, the champ offered him an actual title shot, and then he beats him and takes the title. Rocky 3, you got, what's his name? I can't remember his name. Clubber Lang um, takes the title from Rocky, so Rocky trains to fight him in a rematch and claim the title back. Rocky 4, Creed is killed by a Russian who came to do an exhibition bout with Apollo Creed, and in that bout he kills Apollo Creed, and so Rocky travels to Russia, not in vengeance where he wants to hurt um with Victor Drago, but in a way avenge Creed, but you know I don't know how to explain that, but because of his bout with Victor Drago, uh, was it Victor or Ivan? I can't remember. But anyways, total commercial thing. 4 was propaganda. But yeah, I mean when you think about it, but however, with his fight, he got injured bad. Even though he ended up winning the fight, but those shots he took to the head and everything just and it really showed people what professional boxers go through, right? The professional boxers have to worry about things like a concussion, and a concussion can really put them out. When we're kids and we're growing up, we bump our head. We're told, yeah, you can have a slight concussion, so don't sleep and stuff like that. But they don't know the real severity behind a concussion. And in Rocky 4, he kind of outlined that. And so in Rocky 5, he decides to train, an up and coming, young fighter to fight. And that fighter things get to his head, he becomes famous, but then he still keeps hearing Rocky's name in the mix, and so he wants to fight out of the shadows of Rocky. And Rocky's like, you know, I took you into my home, I trained you, I taught you what I knew, so you can go and be something, and then you're gonna, backstab me. So they ended up having a street fight where Rocky showed him a different side of himself. You see Rocky in the ring, you see him fight professionally. Now you're gonna see him fight in a street fight where there is no rules, there is no referee, there is no, break, there is no spit bucket, there is no water guy, there is no towel boy, there's none of that. You're just gonna straight out fight it out. And yeah, he wins. And then in Rocky Balboa, it's a retired fighter who wants to come out for one last hurrah, which we see that happen in real life, right? What's his name? Mayweather is coming out of retirement to fight to fight Logan Paul. So, I mean, we see fighters come out of retirement to do things like that. So, but Creed, basically just, if you haven't seen Creed, watch it. It's really good. It's really good. And I like that dynamic between Rocky and, Adonis Creed, who is Apollo Creed's son. Real good one. Another movie that I like from Sylvester Stallone is Rambo, especially the last two. Yes, people would say that Rambo is, propaganda, but, Sylvester Stallone likes to outline and show things of what happens out there in the world. Like we know, Burma is a war-torn country and still is till today. I have family that lives in Thailand, and my family, they live on the northern side of Thailand. So, most of my family spread out in Thailand. I got family in Sachunakorn. I have family in Kamen City. I have family that lives in small villages along the Mekong River, which is actually a border area between northern Thailand and Burma. And none of my family members that live near that area ever cross into Burma. Like, they don't. But, he wanted to outline, things about Burma. Let me catch up with some of these comments. I love it. It has to, oh, yeah. Oh, I missed that. I like them all. The Rocky movies? Yeah, Rocky movies is awesome. There's a place here where I go to get Philly cheesesteaks. It's called Corleone's. And every time me and my lady go in there, they're always playing a Rocky movie. Always. Including the Creed movies, the new ones. So I put my kids onto it, and they love it too. Nice. Rocky 3 was total commercial thing. Yeah. But nothing beats Rocky training in part 4 in Russia. Yeah, that was a different type of training he went through. No, I don't remember that. I don't remember that at all. But if you can find it, post it on Twitter, man. I'd love to see it. Yes, that Mayweather upcoming fight is crazy. Yeah, it is. And it's funny because while Logan Paul got that fight, who is it? Oh, yeah, his younger brother, Jake Paul's trying to get a fight with Conor McGregor. And what's funny is, I don't know if you guys saw on TMZ, Jake Paul talking so much crap about Conor McGregor caught the attention of the Irish mob, and the Irish mob actually wants to abduct Jake Paul. And I'm sorry to laugh because it's no laughing matter, really. But yeah, he caught the attention of the wrong Irish people. Rambo 1 is pure gold. Pretty much shows how it really is, how people are treated. Yes. I remember watching Rambo with my dad when I was young. Yeah, the last two Rambo movies were really touching base on that. Wait a minute, the boxer is going to fight against Logan Paul, the internet star? Yeah. Well, Logan Paul is now registered as a professional boxer, so he's licensed to box. So is Jake Paul. I mean, after doing a couple of fights that highlighted YouTubers, now they're professional boxers. But anyways, so the last two Rambo movies, one showed what was going on in Burma, the other one shows what happens in Mexico. And I have friends that go to Mexico, that have family that lives in Mexico, and they say that stuff happens. You can't be a little girl that crosses into Mexico that never really lived there, doesn't know the layout, doesn't know the people around there, and venture off in there. You get abducted. There's cartels that deal drugs that also deal in prostitution, and Sylvester, he showed that through the last two Rambo movies. He touched on world topics that needed attention. Human trafficking is something that happens, and that's what the latest Rambo movie actually was more about, was trafficking. So yeah. See, Rocky has a good message. Never give up. If you want it badly, you have to work for it. Yeah, definitely. I like though how at the end of Creed 2, Rocky finally goes to see his son and make amends with him, and to now be in his granddaughter's life. Oh, okay, cool. I'll go check Twitter here in a minute. I like the last Rambo. Didn't really like the one before it. The last one. So you mean the one that had to do about him living on the ranch, and um, the woman that took care of his dad, that took care of his dad's property. Her granddaughter goes to Mexico. You talking about that one, or are you talking about the one that he's in Burma? Because then that would be the second to the last. I don't know. I can't get enough of this movie. I really, really like The Equalizer, and I hope they do a part three. The Equalizer is playing on TV right now. They had a Matrix marathon, which I know basically because the Matrix 4 comes out, I think, this year, right? Along with John Wick 4. So I'm pretty stoked about those movies. The Predator movies, there's some of them that I like, but these last couple of ones, they weren't that good. I mean, the movie Predators, it was just pretty much like a repeat of the first Predator movie. But I think the reason why that a lot of Predator fans were kind of upset was because they introduced an idea that I don't think they thought would catch on to a lot of fans. And when we watched Predators, because I jump in movie forums and chat with people about movies and stuff like that. We totally geek out about this stuff. And a lot of people were just like, oh, so there's two different species. There's two different species of them. There's the Yautjas that we know, because that's what they're called in comic books. They're called Yautja. But the Yautjas that we know of, and then there's this new, bigger species. And then, of course, when Lawrence Fishburne's character, it broke it down to them when they went back to his hideout, and he's all like, there's two different types. The big ones hunt the smaller ones and everything else. And they're like in this blood feud between them. It opened up a door where people wanted to know, what were the bigger ones about? Because the only reference that we got to them was that, think of them like wolves and dogs. So the Yautjas that we've seen all along are like classified like domestic dogs. So then the ones that we see in Predators are considered like wolves because they're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster. They got more advanced weaponry than the Yautjas. So a lot of people wanted to see a movie that would tell a backstory of the feud between these two species. Just like when the video game Aliens versus Predator came out in arcade and then hit Super Nintendo, a lot of people were interested in Aliens versus Predator, so they finally made that into a movie, giving it a semi-okay backstory as to why this feud happened between, the what the heck are they called? Oh, I can't remember what they call the aliens. They have a name for them. And the Predators, but they gave a decent backstory to it. Terminator, the last Terminator. I don't know how I feel about Terminator Dark Fate. Of course, 1 and 2 obviously stands out. I was okay with the continuation of that timeline, and it just kind of got dumb. I mean, Terminator 3 was 4 was just Terminator Genesis, I was okay with that, even though I didn't like the story path. I just liked that they did a what if, right? Because people were always like, okay, the T101. what if he became a T1000 liquid metal, right? And so at the end of Genesis, when he's fighting John Connor, who has been upgraded by Skynet, uh, when he defeats Connor, the 101 gets thrown in that liquid metal, but he comes back out as a T1000. And so like it was always like a great way to end that movie, like a what if, like here's your what if, now he's a T1000, he's no longer a T101. Or T100. So he's T100 Cyberdyne Systems Model 101. That's what they are. Yeah, so he's not a T100 anymore. He's now a T1000. But then they decided to backtrack all the way back to the end of Terminator 2 Judgment Day and then break the timeline and then shift it. And now we had Terminator Dark Fate. I still thought it was pretty cool how they were able to CGI Eddie Furlong as John Connor again. And then the only problem was the Terminator that went up there. The CGI imaging of the face was just no. Like when you look at Terminator Genesis and then you see the one that Sarah Connor calls Pops, her Terminator, who's been reprogrammed, he's much older, so that way Arnold can be himself because he's aged. And then they were able to CGI Terminator from Terminator 1, Arnold, and you see that scene where he's like, I've been waiting for you. And he walks up and him and the T100 that was sent back to Sarah Connor, they fight, right? And I'm like, okay, they were able to do a pretty good CGI of Arnold from the first Terminator. Why couldn't they do that in Dark Fate when the Terminator came up in the cabana off, on the beach shore when he shot and killed John? So that was one of the things that I was just like, I just didn't understand. But Dark Fate was okay. It's just I don't think that they were able to replicate the success of Terminator since Judgment Day. Judgment Day was a box office hit, smash hit. Everybody in my school was like loving that. Halloween, there were a massive amount of kids that had the costume, and the parents had to go and create that broken up skin, and to make it look like that their skin was partly smashed and exposing their metal skeleton. Unfortunately, I didn't get to be that for Halloween. I was always chasing after like scary costumes. So that year, I think I was a werewolf. Cobra. What about Aliens? I was never too big on Aliens. What's up, Josh? I was never too big on Aliens. But it was pretty cool. I think I didn't watch much Aliens because I was scared of the little hand. That little hand just scared the crap out of me. It always has, even with the newer Aliens versus Predator. Every time I see that stupid egg open and you just see the hand just come up like that, freaks me out. It's gonna wrap around my face and just no. Yeah. I don't like the last couple of Terminator films, but the first and second are always the best. Yeah, they'll always be considered the best. Anything after that, it just doesn't live up to it. It never continued on to success. It's really sad. Yeah, I'm on a staycation, so me and the missus for tonight. It's just me and her. I mean, she's doing her thing right now, and she comes back. We're gonna totally pig out on some snacks, watch some movies. The kids are having a ball right now because they got ordered them some Pizza Hut pizza. They got a new game today. They got the Zelda Link's Awakening, the rebooted one that they did for the Nintendo Switch. Because I got Street Fighter 30th anniversary. They got Zelda, so they're gonna party it out since mom and dad's not home. Their uncle's there to watch them, and me and the missus just taking a much needed alone time. Yeah. You like the Vikings? I'm in season 6 now. I haven't watched the Vikings. The last show that I've actually watched, and gave my attention to the seasons was On My Block, believe it or not. And so yeah. On My Block has been the last one, so crazy as it is. And then I haven't watched Cobra Kai season 3, but I heard some good things about it. I'm gonna watch it when I get some time. Um, there's like really currently right now, that's working on things in my life personally, working on them, and focusing on Instagram, trying to grow on Instagram as I've grown here on YouTube, and trying to not really maintain a lot of the things that I've done here on YouTube. Like I will say this, with all the things that's happened, it really has kind of like broken a lot of things, and so I'm trying to fix a lot of that stuff. With YouTube, it's more on a calm level. Like instead of like really rushing out to get all kinds of tech or whatever, I would just like to come on here, do like a podcast like this, and just freely talk about things, movies and stuff. I like doing that. I like talking about tech too. Don't get me wrong. And later on I'll post the unboxing of this. This microphone, I guess so far is working good. A lot of people has been saying that the audio is great. I'm actually at a good distance away from the microphone, and if it's picking up good, then I pretty much wonder how it's going to sound when I'm directly on the microphone itself. Like if it's going to sound distorted because I'm close to it, if it's going to sound like deep. Well, I don't know. I'm going to listen to the playback later, but I've been at a very good distance away from it. So yeah, the unboxing video is going to come out later. And yeah, $50 at Best Buy. I also have my gamepad. I know I might do a live stream from Stadia playing a game. I don't know. I might. If not tonight, maybe tomorrow. Because right now I'm enjoying my coffee. I'm having a bit of fun. The missus, she's having fun, and yeah. One of my 4 Chromebooks that I'm actually using. I have four Chromebooks. That's the crazy thing about it right now. I have 4. I have my original Chromebook, which is the same as this model that I'm using right now. It's an Acer Chromebook 15, but my original one is touchscreen. This one's not. But they're both pretty much identical in that way. Then I got 2 smaller ones. There's the black one that's a 2-in-1 that flips around. You can make it into a tablet or whatnot. And then I have a smaller white one. And my kids use their Chromebooks for school because their school laptops that's been given to them doesn't even work for Zoom. And what pissed me off was yesterday on my my meeting with their teachers, they were like, we wish that you have told us that their laptops weren't working with Zoom. And I'm like, wait a minute. I told you that back in September. I told you that in October. I told you this in November. And you guys said that you would get back to me on it. It never did. All right, Coffee, take it easy. You have a great, wonderful day or night where you are. Enjoy your time. Let me catch up with some of these comments. And my 18-year-old son loves Cobra Kai. He's up on that. Oh, yeah. Gene, welcome back in. Welcome in, man. Appreciate you having you here. Oh, my gosh, my husband and my oldest son love On My Block. It's hilarious. It's hilarious, that show. And I'm just like, I just don't understand how Monse keeps getting them into trouble. Every time she's trying to do something good, she ends up getting them into trouble. And then you got Cesar, who's just like, he just wants to be normal, but he's been recruited into the Santos, and the Santos, their leader happens to be his brother, Spooky, and Spooky's funny as heck, man. Spooky's funny. You got Ruben. This crazy. I think the girl that Ruben ends up with later on, I forgot her name. But it's I think it's I think she's related to Monse, or she's like really good friends with Monse. But that girl is just insane. It's crazy. But yeah, everyone's say goodnight to Coffee. He's heading out. Um, but yeah, so I got so tired of like my daughter's not being able to have like a good working laptop for school, so I'm just like screw it. We went and got a couple more Chromebooks, so now I have four Chromebooks, and I'm just like, okay, So I mean, it is what it is, and yeah. Um, and then so the missus is talking to me about it, and like she's got a Switch Lite. It's actually really nice. Um, so I'm actually thinking about getting both my daughters and my youngest son their own Switch Lite, so they can actually play their games, not have to fight over the one Nintendo Switch that my oldest son has. Shout out to Gene for the super sticker. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much for that. I don't even know why I have that banner going anymore. We're not really talking about Parler anymore. But yeah, it's yeah, I don't understand schools today. I don't understand schools at all today. Like ugh. Okay. Um, I just don't get them. I just don't get them at all. So yeah, now I got four Chromebooks. And when I was doing an Instagram live the other day, I was asked on there if I would, what do I think of a Pixel book? And a Pixel book is just pretty much a Chromebook. It's just that on the actual hardware casing itself, it says Pixel book or Pixel book Go. Um, as far as the operating system and everything like that, it's Chrome OS hybrid Android. So it's like it's Chrome Android. Because you could use like with this Chromebook right here, I can download apps from the Google Play Store that are Android apps and run it on here. Like the Stadia app, I can run it on here, or I can do it from the Chrome browser. But yeah, so it's like a hybrid of that. But yeah, we are about 2 minutes left into the live stream. Let me go ahead and close this out, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you guys for coming over here and hanging out with me. Just so you guys know, this is the microphone that I got. And again, shout out to B-Tech Reviews for telling me about this mic. And a big shout out to the missus for gifting me this mic. My Daily Side, yo, I'm about to end it, dude. I'm sorry you missed it, man, but watch the replay. Watch the replay. And you'll catch what I was talking about. I mean, the replay I talk about, Parler being, threatened to be banned by Apple, pulled from the Google Play Store market, threatened by Amazon to be shut down. I talk a little bit about that without dabbling too much into politics, and then kind of shifted over to just talking about movies like Street Fighter, Assassin's Fist, talking about Street Fighter game, talking about Mortal Kombat movie and the reboot. A good amount of movie talk in today's live stream, but yeah, definitely watch the replay. And so, what phone am I using these days? And am I upgrading? Am I upgrading at this point? So I'm using my Pixel 5 and my Pixel 4. So my Pixel 4 and my Pixel 5 is always in my pocket. The Pixel 4a, I use it from time to time, but the Pixel 5 is my daily driver. That is the one that's always on me. If I only want to carry one phone with me, it's the Pixel 5. But yeah, so I thank everybody for being here. I wish everybody to be safe. We're in 2021. Let's make 2021 better. Everybody get along, right? Let's purely talk about good things, movies, tech, whatever it is. I'm looking at the viewfinder, and I think this Chromebook has a really good camera compared to my other one. So I might just use this one more for live streaming. I don't know. That's just me. You guys let me know. The other clutch, take it easy. I love you guys very much. Be cool, be safe. And as always, law. Good night.